started back in 2015, uh, and yet people still there's a big lag about SDGs and what's the 2030 goals, etc. And yesterday, no, at the beginning of the Yunga UN Secretary General talk about this, about the challenge that we all have at advocates for, to reduce the inequality gap, climate or sustainability or SDGs, as you wanted to call it, at advocates or activists. We do have a bigger challenge right now, which is on social media, disinformation and hate around sustainability and conspiracy theories that sometimes we don't talk about. Was also I am content creator, and I started back in 2015. Please don't look back at those old videos because I'm ashamed of all those videos, but that's how we started, on social media. That's how I met global youth with different applications, creating these networks, creating connections, having live on Facebook, on Instagram and other platforms. That's how we start creating this, like a small movement that has been growing. But that's it, having like different people. There's no one that's expert in everything. You have to believe, to trust, to delegate the topics to other people, and that's how the SDGs works. So how to involve more people, how to work, how to to inspire and to impact more young people by really believing and having that impact. But you have to believe in yourself. I became vegan since I was 15 years old. Like, again, from my experience, it's been really difficult because of the context of the Mexican culture. Machismo and carnivorism, and like uh, global south. We do have a different perspective from global north. So it's different the way that we have created movements, and I've talked this with incredible activists as Greta, about how different it was for us. I cannot call for a global strike. I cannot call for a local strike in my city because it's so insecure to walk even day or night. You can be killed because there's a cartel, because there are people with guns, because now the city may be shut down. And this is also in other cities. I remember talking this with youth from Congo, from Ghana, from Niger, etc. It is not the same global north and global south. We cannot have the same tactics. So that's what we can replicate and have this conversation. It's so important because I can share how we did it. We took social media, and that's how we really have this impact. But then when the situation changed, thanks to COVID, thanks to a new government, we could go to the streets and start making this impact in person. But it takes time. There's not a global recipe, and that's specifically also the SDGs. And just to finish this, also when we talk about education here in Mexico, for example, last week people were burning the public new books because we were teaching the new books are teaching about the indigenous communities, about disabilities, about sexual education, and visualizing LGBTQ people. So there's a big sector yet, conservative sector, that were burning the books. And I was also reflecting about this. And for example, the SDGs does not contemplate free education, does not contemplate universal education, like education, or non-religious education. But we can see the context in Middle East. So I say take the SDGs. SDGs are based on science, but just to quote it, SDG 4.1 only talk about free, equality, and quality. But there's some other concepts that are really important to contemplate that we have in our constitution, for example. But yet, again, as I started, thanks to disinformation and conspiracy theories, there's a big sector, also in COVID 19, people that were talking about vaccines. Oh, this is, people trying to get you killed, etc., etc., etc. And I get amazed, like, as an advocate, I was like, I gotta fight against that. How? And that's the importance of youth and the diversity in the movement, of have all people with different backgrounds to be inclusive. That's the key, to leave no one behind, because that's how we can create this diversity and be the face to make front of the anti-movement that we're facing. We have to say it like that. We can give them multiple names, but there's again, I close with this. UN Secretary General said it. The 2030 goals, the reduction of the inequality gap, climate action, it's been threat. There's no guarantee, and progress can be lost. We saw that with COVID. All progress with education, all progress with just jobs and inequality gap that we took with programs years ago to reduce the inequality gap, we lose it thanks to COVID. So that's climate change and the effects of climate change in societies. These effects are inevitable. We are going to face them, so we need to have a strategy. That's the importance of youth in all activisms.